Hey guys. So, welcome to 4C remote instruction lecture. I will do one or two of these a week, hopefully keep them short, maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20. The last one went a little bit long, but this is just to keep everyone together, practicing the same kinds of things, let everyone know where we are in the book, and to get some exercises going, simulate the classroom experience, if you will. So, welcome to 4C. Here we'll be starting with Chapter 10, as per the syllabus. One last thing, if you haven't yet, please reply to that doodle poll before tomorrow morning, and then I'll create a schedule for our meetings for the rest of the week and for next week going forward, so I can meet with you one-on-one. Again, that'll only be 10-15 minutes as well, just to check in and say hi, and to hear maybe you do some sight singing or some prepared singing. So for this week, no worries about prepared singing. We'll just meet and do some sight singing. In the meantime, let's go into Chapter 10. Chapter 10 is really focused on rhythm, to the exclusion of actually anything else. So everything here in Chapter 10 will be rhythm. We can just use this as a rhythm review this week. Let's get into Chapter 10, and this is starting here on page 146. And so we're talking about subdivision of the beat into further subdivisions. So far, if you've noticed in the book, we have only been dealing with 1 or 2 subdivisions up and 1 or 2 subdivisions down. Now we're going further, so in 2-4 including 16th notes, in 2-2 including 8th notes, etc. And even 30 seconds in something like a 3-8. So now we have 2 rhythmic subdivisions. 1 8th note equals 2 16th notes equals 4 30-second notes. Get yourself a rhythm tree if anything I said is confusing to you. I hope it's just review. But going on, in section 1, we have these preliminary exercises. So let's take a look at these. This will include some practice with dotted patterns, and I think these are really important to practice, especially in preparation for the next rhythm chapter, which will deal with syncopation. So pay attention when you run across these kinds of things. They're going to become more and more important as we get to more complex rhythmic figures. So in I think it's good to remember this page 147. I may have already showed it to you, but it has speaking of rhythm trees, just a common subdivision tree that you might find these kinds of patterns occurring in the melodies and rhythms we'll be running into as we go through the book, as we go through the rest of the book. So let's take a look right here at the beginning, and why don't we try this together? Excuse me. So I'll just put on a metronome in 2-4, and then we can sing this together. So here, get yourself a metronome. I set mine at maybe like, I don't know, 70, and in 2-4. So let's hear that. Okay, so pretty slow. We'll take this like this. So ready? 1, 2, measure for nothing. 2, here we go. Ta, 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 etc. Good. Okay, so I would run through that a few times. Using a metronome is a good idea. Of course, this one's the same. It's just showing you at a different subdivision level what this notation looks like when you're in 2-2 instead of 2-4, and here in 2-8. So definitely get used to these. This will help you in melodic dictation as well, because you'll be hearing these patterns, and instead of thinking, uh-oh, I have to figure out what was the rhythm of that note, what was the rhythm of that note, what was the rhythm of that note. No, you can remember as a group, as a whole beat, what was that subdivision pattern that occurred in that group. I think this will become clearer as we go on. Good. So looking ahead into section 2 here, let's read some of these. So the top one here is in 2-4 again, and why don't we speed up a tiny bit just to challenge ourselves. So let's go up to 75, and still in 2-4. Okay, and we'll take a measure for nothing. Here we go. 1, 2, and ta, 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 ta. Good. I think this should be pretty straightforward for you. If it's challenging, though, you have plenty of not melodies really, but rhythm patterns here to try. And I would recommend going through a lot of these, as many as you can, honestly, and see if you can do them on the first try. So something about sight reading rhythm is you'll notice, and I've mentioned this before, but you'll notice that you really do have to look ahead. So when you get to a long note, make sure you kind of count, okay, and then I have 2 groups of sixteenths. And then a long note, now I have eighth and then 16th. So while I'm singing this note here, I'm already planning on how this is going to sound. And again, there's no reading along with music. You read ahead. That's, I think, so important to keep in mind. So let's try this one in 3/4. Let's change our tempo. Let's keep our tempo. Let's change our time signature to 3/4. Now let's hear. 1, 2, 3. Ta 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 ta. Good. Okay, so you might have heard me rush a little bit here. That's also going to be a common tendency. Let's try it one more time and try not to rush at that point. Let's even slow down a little bit again so that we can really avoid rushing and try to sit right into the beat. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3. Ta 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 ta. Good. I had a little coffee this morning, so I rushed, I think, this second one and maybe one of these eighth notes. Now, I think it's really helpful to listen to yourself do that and to try to practice, can you get these as even as possible? Ta, 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 and so on. Good. Okay, so yes, please have at these. Let's skip to a harder one, and then I'll take this. I'll cut this lecture pretty short here. But why don't we look at some of these with ties and syncopation? Ties we've encountered before. This is going to obscure the second beat of this measure, so that we have a pickup. 1, 2, and 1, and 3, and okay. So I mean that was terrible, but you understand what I mean. Where we're going to blank out beat 2 here. So we have. Why don't we just try this with the metronome, so I'm not improvising so sillily. There's a word. 2, 4. Let's hear this. So that's our 16th beat, right? Let's try this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ta 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 ta. Okay. So that time you heard very clearly, right, that you have and 1, E and a 1. So it's blanked out here. Let me try that in time again. And 1, E and a 1, and 1, E and a 1, and a 2. So I always forget what the number counts are. But I just like ta. I think with ta you can get it just as long as you know that this is beat 2 being obscured here. Okay, let's try another one with some syncopation. Or why don't we try one of this dotted one here in 3/4, 10.7 I'm looking at here. Change to 3/4. And here we go again. 1, 2, 3. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Should we just do that one again? 1, 2, 3. Ta 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 ta. Yes. Ta 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 ta. Okay. Good. Yeah. So definitely read through these and see how many you can do on the first try. And some of them are going to require some scanning or some extra practice. For example, this is a little bit challenging here, this kind of figure where you have a long obscured beat. Beat 2 is hidden all the way up until E and a 1. So you're going to go ta, ta. Like there's a ta, ta, ta. So actually, why don't we try this one? This is 10.13. And I'm going to go back to 2, 4. There we go. And we'll stay at 80 or so. Let's hear that. Okay, ready? 1, 2. Ta, 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 ta. Oop, and I messed it up. Here we go. 1, 2. Ta, 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 ta. So, good. If you noticed, my mistake there, what was my mistake? Well, I wasn't looking ahead. I was too worried about this note, and I forgot to look ahead to this, which comes up very quickly. So, these patterns, ta, 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 they are fast, and so you have to look ahead. Ta, 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 ta.